We're here at the Dublin Biennial 2012 with Susan Obermeyer Strauss, very special artist and friend. And so I just want to hear whatever is in your mind, in your heart, whatever you would like to tell us about yourself, your experience here, and your work.
Well, first I'd like to thank Maggie McGee for all of the hard work putting this together and her encouragement along the way to get here. And I'm very honored to be here and grateful. And I think it's quite a nice dynamic slice of artists. So it's really, really well choreographed and selected. About the piece, the process is multimedia, so I'm using many different techniques. I'm doing solvent transfer prints on my litho press at home in my studio, and the original solvent images I'm shooting myself in my travels. In this particular piece, it's image that I shot in Bali, and Bali's so special in many, many ways. So this was kind of a reflection on offerings and the flowers. I like the idea of offering the flowers to different Buddha-esque images or deities because it keeps offering in the painting. It's a continual offering, which I think is a really nice gesture. I was just really having fun having it be psychedelic because I was just thinking about how magnificent possibilities are, living in possibility, that we can manifest our life any way we want, and to just play and live in a state of play. And then also I have different cycles of the flower. You know, I have the lotus after it's blossomed for seeds in it, and then also in full bloom for life cycles. Yeah, just very playful, some traditional wood block and added in for flavor.
I know that a painting happens to an artist. I believe that as an artist, the moment of inspiration comes to you, boom, it's done. And then it gets to where you have to get up and do it, but it's always already done. Can you tell us a little bit about that creative process?
Yeah, what I like to do is think about a theme. I have a couple main themes that I work with right now. One is horses. I like ancient horses. I like history. I like human history. And I like looking at patterns in time. So in both the meditation series and in the equine series, I'm constantly chewing and dwelling on thinking about archetypes, thinking about religions, thinking about how they shape cultures, how the whole human timeline is moving along. And it's my way of grasping and understanding what is true for humans throughout time, and then what parts are just specific to a particular time and place. So it's a gateway into compassion, really, and also just into really understanding, you know, what our place is here, working it all out on the planet. I'm constantly in a process of thinking about that, and then when I actually am working on a piece, I usually have a certain feeling or a vibe or a meditation that I'm, you know, really involved with, a particular horse that I'm drawing or painting, or like in this case, a particular kind of vibe that I'm playing out and kind of bringing out. And then at some point it leaves, usually the painting leaves my preconceived ideas, and then there's a choice because it wants to become its own thing, and then I become its servant. And then I just follow what is required. Exactly. Yeah.
Speaking of meditation, how does a day in your studio start? Does it start with meditation every morning, or does it start with something crazy and fun?
It starts with an espresso. And I usually take a nice long walk in the hills I have a fabulous boxer, and we go for about a 4-mile walk in some very wild woods that have mountain lion running around that we're paying attention to and some bears and other animals. And then, well, it keeps you aware of your environment, and there's lots of beauty there. And so then after that kind of walking meditation, then I come back and mill around my garden generally, because I'm into growing my own food and the food for my family, and then I'm in the studio with the coffee and hanging out, figuring out where to enter a piece. So I usually have many things that I'm working on at once, and then I just go wherever there's an opening. That's where I begin. And I like to work in series at multiple pieces at a time. It just works for me to do that. So I might have a morning of one process, and then on the monotyping, and then in the afternoon I may be oil painting, and my studio allows me to have different palettes alive at different times. Yeah.
Do you feel that by changing your surroundings or your locations, I know you have your studio in Aspen. If you were to paint here, or if you decide to paint in Bali, does it changing the environment, their location, or the physical place where you are changes also your state of mind and and is reflected on the work, or do you stay?
I usually go to the place mentally and energetically when I'm doing the piece, regardless of where I'm. It's sort of state specific, so I return to whatever state is required to make that piece. So it really wouldn't matter where I'm making it, although I really do feel blessed and fortunate to have the studio that I have, because my studio overlooks horse pasture, and it's awesome. And I can run out in the middle and go and pet my little foal and then come right back in. So it's awesome. There's all kinds of magic going on.
You're connected. You're totally connected. Before we go, I want to hear what you're doing next, where you're going. Is there anywhere we can go see your work, your website, or a place where we can go see you?
Yeah, I have work up right now in Southern Nevada Museum of Fine Art. It'll be there for 6 months. I have a show coming up in Aspen, Colorado in August. And I have a show in New York at Marinucci in November. That's the most immediate lineup.
All right. Thank you so much.